with this little bit done on my floor plan, I can start to map things out on my perspective. I'm going to work on the pedestal for my table. I'm going to line my dot up the middle of my largest light and move it up until it touches the pedestal, the base of the pedestal, and I'm going to go this way, and then I go to the back of the pedestal and do the same thing. And remember how important the center was, the center. Bring that out too. Now, if your pedestal is right in the center, you shouldn't have too much trouble putting this next box up, but I'm going to plot it the way I see it here. Okay, I can see that the box is along this line, so see, it comes along this way. I can put this, using my left vanishing point, I can do this, and I can do this on the other side of the widest part of my base. I can do that. From the edge of the box, I go half a foot and another foot. So half a foot and another foot. So this is where the box for the circle is going to start. So it comes from here all the way out to here. And the circle is going to be within that box. The half of the circle is something that I can look for and find if I go halfway through here and halfway through here. I need another color. Here. And then I located that same spot. This is that box. I located that same spot here. Then I used my vanishing point to draw that center line along. Also, this was helpful, that my pedestal on the floor, the box for my shadow, lined right up with that. So that was extremely helpful. So I was able to do that here as well. I've got that. And then I've got the center. I've got this and this, which is the center, and I've got this and I've got this. And that's what I've got mapped out here on the floor. There's the center. And you just do it the same way you do everything else, that you count boxes and bring things over. This goes to here, which goes to here. Now, I can't draw the whole circle. I don't have enough grid for that, but I can draw this half, and that may just be enough. We want this to get softer and to taper off as it goes out of the drawing. This is the original box. It's this part, but on the floor. The original box for the circumference of the top of our table. So when I count boxes away from this, it's as if I'm doing it from the top, which is what this looks like. So I have half a box and then almost a whole box, and here you can see I have half a box and a whole box. So that really helped me to get this half of a circle. Now, I know this is looking a little bit scary here, but if I go from here, the middle, across, and I put a diagonal from the center to the corner, and from this center to that corner, I already have that. Here's the box, the original box for the circumference of the tabletop projected on the floor. This now is half the box that I projected from my floor plan when I was working on my floor plan and mapping my shadows from there. So you can see this box is this box, and this box is the original box for the circumference of the tabletop. So in mapping it, you can just count points, or you can, that's probably the best way to do it. Just map out points. Okay, and now I know where this circle is going to touch. I have to divide this into 3 parts, 3 equal parts. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way, which is not easy. So I will get a circle that will give me the shadow. I'll let it drift off when I render it. We'll see about that when I go there. And it is tricky, but that's the whole thing about perspective, is that you have to learn to separate, not to see everything, only see what you're focused on in the moment. So now we have no shadow from the pedestal, almost none, but we do have this shadow. We'll go from our point through our wine refrigerator. And remember, we decided to go just half a box because we just want one last dark before we go off the edge of the paper. When you get to the wall, and you can see this in shadows all around you in the room you're in, once you get to the wall, you have to stop and go up the wall. And we can use the center of the light itself now and go from the top of the little refrigerator, and that will give us the ending for the shadow. So that'll be our last dark before we go off the edge of the page. If we look at our elevations, this is in shadow, and this is in shadow. This is the side of our built-in and the side of our little refrigerator, our wine refrigerator. This now, if we take the center of our light, we can do all of this at the same time and we'll get a better feel for it. This will go from the edge of the fridge. This will go from the edge of this little fridge. And we'll get shadow on the side. And we're just eyeballing how much, so but it just helps to explain, I think, what we're doing and what we're seeing here on our perspective. We'll go from the center of our light source through our built-in. It's almost as if we're using the vanishing point. It looks the same. So, but this tells us that the light is right in line with the height of the built-in. And it's almost in line. It's 1 foot higher. That's why we get this slight angle that we're very grateful for. Now, this now is in line with the light, so we'll just leave that. We won't fuss with that, but this would be a shadow side.